Alright, so it seems the Sonic Frontiers choo-choo train just keeps on chewing. That was kind of a lame intro, but we're gonna keep moving. We've got some new screenshots, a little bit of new footage from the Gamescom demo, and these screenshots involve the desert island, by the way, as well as the Critic review where they came from, where they talk about them playing the demo. So we're gonna get to all this right now. But if you're subscribed to the channel already, please make sure to subscribe. We are trying to hit 100,000 subscribers and hopefully 7,000 subscribers before Sonic Frontiers comes out. Now, before we get into that, there's one topic we need to bring up because I know I brought it up in the last live stream that I did, but since people are too lazy to watch live streams and actually check, I'm gonna have to bring up in the video. The rail momentum. Yes, we saw a clip that showed that Frontiers has got rail momentum. I'll play the clip here. This is from Sonic Wind Blue playing the demo, and you can see that they have implemented rail momentum. Now, some people might go, you see, Prem, you were wrong. There was rail momentum the whole time, and you were just not waiting for the true gameplay. Shut up. That's not what happened, okay? I'm taking credit for this shit. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I wasn't the only one who complained about lack of momentum, but I'm taking credit for this because go back to the June footage. It wasn't no rail momentum, okay? Go back to the IGN first shit. That June build, when he went down the rail, he did not gain any speed whatsoever. You look at the new footage, he gained speed when he went downhill, he slowed down when he went uphill. It wasn't like that before. They went and added that shit off the backlash, okay? We was talking about that shit, it was going viral, the lack of momentum went viral on Twitter multiple times. And I talked about it multiple times, and it was a big point of contention. They listened. Okay, this was not no it was always their situation. Even still, I still believe they have that little baseline speed that you always go at, that way you can't fail on the rail like in the older Sonic games like SA2 Heroes, because even 06 did this automated thing that I'm talking about. 06 has got a lot of automation, but those games have this thing where like you could never like stop dead on the rail because it will always want you to move forward because they're afraid that you won't be able to build the momentum to keep going if you slow to a crawl. But SA2 and Heroes are like, man, if you don't have enough speed and there's no like dash panel on the rail or whatever, you will stop. Like, if you try and go up the loop-de-loop, you don't have enough speed, you'll come back down. Colors would never allow that. Pretty much every single Kishimoto Sonic game wouldn't allow you to fall back on the rails. Unleashed in Generations would. I've already proven this before. There's footage of it, but you can test it yourself. Open up Unleashed in Generations. If you don't get enough speed, you can fall back. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because people are going to be like, Prem is ignoring the subject, even though I mentioned it in the stream. So there you go. I've talked about it. Anyway, on to the new shit. We'll warm up with some basic shit right now. They found a Sonic Team intro from the demo, and I'll play the clip here. It looks like a cool intro. What can I say? And then obviously the Big the Cat screenshot that we saw from before, we've got actual footage of it now. Sonic meeting Big. I'll play that clip here. But yes, let's get on to the meat. We've got some new screenshots courtesy of T3.com, who obviously got to play the demo, and it's clear that they accessed the desert island because they got screenshots from the desert island. So we're gonna take a look at these screenshots. We see the first one, we see Sonic in the desert island, and we see him looking at, is that a boss or just a bunch of platforms? It looks like a bunch of platforms, but you know, like when on Unleashed, like when you turn into that big like structure thing full of a bunch of platforms and ground and shit, and you're fighting like Dark Gaia and shit, that's what it kind of looked like to me, but I think it's just platforms. But yeah, now that we can see it in a higher resolution, you can see it looks pretty beautiful. We got a second screenshot of the desert at night, and again, very beautiful. I mean, these are not like 4K screenshots or anything like that, but you can tell like graphically this game gonna deliver. Okay, we take a look at the third screenshot, we can see like the desert area, we can see like the ruins or whatever you want to call them, and the cyberspace stuff and the springs and all that. It looks pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie. You can see like rails in the distance floating in the sky. I'm not really seeing too many platforming challenges or anything like that. I mean, a little bit of places where it seems like you can climb up and whatnot, but that's about it. And then we've got this one, which looks like the boss that was in the story trailer, and Sonic is attacking it. And then we can see Sonic using that move, which I've forgotten the name of. I think that's the homing shot, and he's using it against some little small enemy in the desert area. And then this one I like, he's like running across the wall. That seems pretty interesting. I mean, I wonder how much freedom you have in this area. Is it like automated? Because you can see the dash panel there. I'm guessing you hit the dash panel and it just does it for you, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. And then you got Sonic seemingly doing tricks after going through the springs and the hoops once again in the desert area. And then we see Amy in, I think, the first island. We also got a shot of Sonic attacking that boss in the first island, and then another shot of Sonic in Chemical Plant. And again, this is from T3.com. They've got an article here. It says the upcoming 3D Sonic game actually plays really great and takes more more inspiration from Breath of the Wild than you think. I mean, we all thought it took inspiration from Breath of the Wild, but okay, like more than we think. Okay, let's read. The title of the article says, "Ignore the critics. Sonic Frontiers is fine, and I played it." So another person with an opinion that says ignore everyone else's opinion. Okay, cool. Sonic Frontiers is fine. Don't let the critics or internet fool you. It's a fun game that looks to give the hedgehog freedom of an open world environment like never before, with numerous interweaving levels reminiscent of Sonic Generation. Very reminiscent of Sonic Generations. I mean, this shit just bit the shit from Gents. And for my time spent, I'm really excited. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to mislead anyone from my 30-minute hands-on time with Sonic Frontiers at Gamescom 2022. Anyone that hasn't enjoyed Sonic since the character moved to the world of 3D is unlikely to be convinced by its upcoming release. On the other hand, those Sonic fans that have met heartbreak time and time again, yet have found some solace in past games, will likely enjoy Frontiers. I'm one of them. I want to know what Sonic games this guy likes, because like that's important when like assessing someone's opinion on a new game. Is like, what was your taste in Sonic before, right? Because if you're about to tell me Carlos was the pinnacle of the franchise and then you say Frontiers is a masterpiece, I'm gonna be a bit more wary, is all I'm saying. The control scheme most closely resembles Sonic Colors. Speak of the devil. The day levels in Sonic Unleashed, yeah, they took straight from that as well. Two of the more positive 3D experiences of the past 20 years. Sonic is pretty quick, shock, even at the lowest level, with his speed able to rise all the way to level 50. Okay, 50 levels, which will be needed to truly traverse the 5 islands that make up the main campaign at a good pace. A generous sized boost bar helps movement constant, pushing you towards the next set of enemies, grind rails, and or puzzles. My playthrough began on the second level, Ares Island. Oh, that's the name of the island, okay. A desert-filled land with the occasional oasis and a skyscraper-sized boss awaiting battle. These mechanical behemoths are called Guardians, the first of numerous Breath of the Wild resemblances, of course. These are needed to be defeated to retrieve vault keys and subsequently reclaim the Chaos Emeralds. Little was shared about the narrative outside of Sonic, Tails, and Amy coming to the Starfall Islands after being drawn by the magical gems. It's refreshing that the story has a bit more mystery about it, while Sega appears to be taking the series more seriously in the wake of the memeable Sonic Forces, the last major Sonic release back in 2017. Someone during my session also asked about the decision to have 3 Chaos Emeralds on the first level, Kronos Island, with 7 in total. When you say first level, I'm thinking like cyberspace, like first island. It did make me wonder whether these are the actual Chaos Emeralds or potentially just bait. Well, I mean, there's 5 islands, right? So one island's gonna have to have more than 1 emerald at least, right? You get 3 on island 1, then you get 1, 1, 1, 1 on the next 4 islands, that's 7. Scattered across the Starfall Islands are portals to cyberspace levels that are self-contained, more traditional Sonic stages. The one I played was a Sonic Generation style 2D stage set in Green Hill Zone. Green Hill Zone again, really? Though trailers online show some newer areas, so I have some optimism, be that as foolish as it may, knowing Sega. Sound like me now. To add to this, there are 4 challenges per cyberspace level, hence why I'm a bit anxious we won't be getting full levels, rather bite-sized chunks. Hopefully I'm wrong. Sonic now has advanced combat featuring special moves like Cyclone, isn't it Psyloop, Phantom Rush, Air Trick, Stomp Attack, Sonic Boom, and Wild Rush, all of which can be unlocked through a skill tree, a first for the series. Combat felt fine to me, nothing special, nothing horrendous. Think a simplified Werehog minus the transformation. I didn't mind the Werehog in truth, come on me internet, therefore I'm eager to really learn the new moveset and see how many combos can be racked up. So this person, who is, I guess, optimistic for the game, is going out of their way to say that the combat in Frontiers is less complicated than the Werehog, like less, I'm guessing less combos, less things you can do. So people acting like they had surpassed the Werehog simply because, well, they didn't like the Werehog level design or whatever, may not be correct. That's all I'm saying, okay? Like, the Werehog was fun, okay? Like, seriously, get over yourself, it was fun. You just didn't get good. But let me not go off with an Unleashed tangent right now, because people act like the Werehog is the worst thing ever. But the point is, people acting like Frontiers is common shat on the Werehog combat because, you know, it ran at 60 FPS, therefore by definition was gonna look smoother and sleeker. But in reality, you know, if you knew what you were doing, the Werehog combat was fun. And these can be best put to use during fights with the Guardians. My encounter with one of the bosses, whose name is totally blanked on me, maybe Striker or Stalker, had Sonic first grinding his way up multiple circular grind rails until reaching eye level with the enemy type. Then Sonic needs to grind around 3 more grind rails that border one another and surround the boss while avoiding exploding attacks on each until all the rails are lit up. Once complete, it seems to send a shock to the Guardians so Sonic can get in close and do some real damage. Doing this process twice allowed me to defeat the boss. A Sega staff member mentioned that I was one of the few to actually complete this in the time allotted. It's not a brag, it's more to say it has a fair whack of challenge to it, and I felt that too in a good sense. Well, that's good. I think the combat is probably the most solid thing in the game so far, aside from the visuals. Using up the remainder of my time, it became clear that there are a lot of collectibles in Sonic Frontiers, from memory tokens needed to rescue friends like Amy, to portal gear that unlocks, well, portals to red and blue seas for powering up the Bluebird's attack and defense. There's a lot out there. I even discovered a crashed Eggman ship, only further adding to the mystery. At one point, meteors began to fall, dropping items and enemies, similar to Breath of the Wild's Blood Moon. It could work well if used sparingly. Truth be told, going into this hands-on, I was nervous. I love Sonic games and defend a lot of Sonic's 3D outings, but can equally recognize the disasters of Sonic 06, Sonic Boom, Sonic Forces, etc. The vocal outcry from fans for Sega to delay the game has also been deafening. All of this taken into account, I had so much fun playing Sonic Frontiers, I honestly did not want to stop. I recognize it's probably the most 7 out of 10 game there is. Do you see what I mean? Okay, do you see what I mean? I hate when people do this shit. Like, I hate when people do this shit. Like, when people see titles like ignore the critics, Frontiers is fine, I played it, people give all this impression that it's like some amazing game, and you see Prem was being too negative, the critics love it, look at this person here saying it's fine, and then you read the article and then they say it's the most 7 out of 10 game there is, and I've literally been saying the game is like a 6 to 7 out of 10. So you basically think the same as me, but you've packaged it in a more positive looking title, so people have gotten the impression that it is perfect, right? Meanwhile, Prem is treated like the love child of the devil and the Grinch on twitter.com for saying basically the same thing without the sugarcoaty title. And I had a rant about this before in my previous stream because GameXplain got to play the demo and they made a video titled Sonic Frontiers is, in capitals, really good. And you're thinking, okay, GameXplain played it and they liked it, right? It's really good. The critics love the game. And then you watch the video and then the person who's talking about the game who played it is going, I don't know if the game is going to be good when it comes out. So why the fuck you title it Sonic Frontiers is really good if you're not even convinced that the final product is going to be good? The whole point of playing a demo is to convince you that the final product will be good. So if you play the demo and you're not convinced that the final game is going to be good after playing that demo, why are you titling the video Sonic Frontiers is, in capitals, really good? Like, you lot need to like wear your opinions on your sleeve and stop hiding the doubt and all that shit in the video like 10 minutes in or at the end of your article, but then your titles are all like, it's great. Like, what is going on here? I mean, I know the defense squad could be toxic as fuck and you lot are scared to put that in your title because they're gonna come after you, but like, come on, grow some balls. I mean, I've even seen this shit with my own content as well. Like, sometimes I make a title that doesn't sound too negative and then people don't get mad at me, even though in the video I'm clearly criticizing the game. I might make a title that's a bit more negative sounding and then people are mad at me even without watching the video. It's like people just want the headline, okay? But yes, we got new screenshots from this T3.com article and they said the game is looking like the most 7 out of 10 game there is, and I agree. It's a 6 to 7 out of 10 so far. Nothing suggesting that would be a 7.5 or an 8. I want to see more platforming, interesting platforming. I don't know if they've forgotten that Sonic was originally a platformer, but I'm not seeing that much platforming. I'm seeing a lot of homing attacking and rails, puzzles and combat. The only platforming would be in cyberspace, which those bite-sized levels that are just bite in previous games, but look, it is what it is, okay? Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this new screenshots and footage and opinions. Are you looking forward to the game more or less? And of course, a big shout out to all my channel members. If you want to become a channel member, you click at the join button next to the subscribe button. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Make sure to check out the non-Sonic channel. The link will be in the description. But that's all I have to say right now. So, Remy out.